He sat by the pool. She called security. She didn't know he ran it. The Alabama heat clung to the air like a damp cloth, heavy and unrelenting. Julian Carter had been looking forward to this all week. A quiet Saturday, a bottle of water, and a few peaceful laps in the pool behind the clubhouse of Lakeside Grove, a gated community on Mobile's east side. He wasn't dressed to stand out. Navy blue swim trunks, mirrored sunglasses, and a towel slung over his shoulder. He'd barely sat down when he heard it. "Excuse me, do you live here?" The voice cut through the air like a blade. Not loud, but sharp. Condescending. Accusatory. He turned slowly, unfazed. The woman was already striding toward him, arms folded across her chest like a barrier. She was probably in her late 30s, maybe early 40s, dressed in a crisp white polo and lemon-yellow tennis skirt, the unofficial uniform of suburban authority. "Yes," Julian replied, simply. She squinted, skeptical. "You rent here?" "I've lived here for 9 years, and I've never seen you." He didn't blink. "I own the place on Ridgewood Court. Corner lot. Been there almost 2 years." She scoffed. "Oh, sure you do. Look, I don't want any trouble, but people can't just walk into this pool without authorization. And you didn't use a key card." Julian tilted his head and motioned to the gate. Someone held the gate open. "I didn't think it would be an issue." "Well, it is an issue," she snapped, stepping closer. "This is private property. I don't know you. Either you show me some ID, or I'm calling security." Julian stood, not confrontationally, just to meet her eyes. "My name is Julian Carter. I live here. I don't owe you an explanation." She pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the clubhouse. If you're lying, you're going to have a problem." Around the pool, eyes began to drift their way. A mother corralled her toddlers. A man adjusted his chair for a better view. A teenage girl whispered to a friend and pulled out her phone. "Yes," the woman said into the phone, turning slightly away. "There's a man here, dark skin, probably early 40s, athletic build. Says he lives here, but doesn't have a key card." "Yes, I'm uncomfortable. Not threatened. Not in danger. Just uncomfortable." Julian sighed through his nose, calm as ever. He recognized the script. The way discomfort dressed itself as concern. The performance of righteousness. "They're sending someone," she said as she hung up. Arms crossed again. "I suggest you stay put." Julian turned toward the clubhouse, but didn't move. Instead, he reached into the towel draped over the lounge chair and pulled out a small leather wallet. He flipped it open, badge gleaming in the sunlight. "Chief of Police, City of Mobile." The woman froze, blinked twice. Her mouth opened, but no words came. Gasps rippled around the pool. Julian slid the wallet shut and tucked it away. "I appreciate your concern for the neighborhood," he said. "But next time, you might want to ask before assuming." It wasn't sharp, but it hit harder than a yell. "Well, I didn't know. You weren't wearing anything that said. How was I supposed to?" "You weren't supposed to assume," said a voice from across the pool. A man in his 30s stood up, mirrored shades, and a ball cap. "You saw a black man by the pool and decided he didn't belong. That's what this was." "Excuse me," the woman snapped. "You heard me. You wouldn't have said anything if he looked like me. He was white. You don't know that. Neither did you." Someone clapped. Then another. A ripple of approval moved through the crowd. The woman looked around and saw how alone she was. She turned back to Julian, fumbling. "I didn't mean anything by it. I was just trying to protect the community." Julian surveyed the crowd. He didn't respond right away. "I don't want an apology," he said. "I just want you to think about what just happened. How fast this could have gone wrong if I weren't calm. If someone else wasn't filming. If I weren't who I am." She looked away. "But I am," he said. "And I live here. Same as you." She picked up her tote and walked out fast, sandals slapping the pavement. Julian sat back down and took a slow sip of water. The man in the ball cap came over. "Chief Carter, right?" Julian nodded. "That's me. I'm Drew. Unit 304. Just wanted to say, that was impressive. Most people would have snapped." Julian shrugged. "I don't get a snap. If I do, I'm the angry black man. Dangerous. I learned a long time ago. Brief first. Speak later." Drew nodded toward the teenager, still recording. "That video's going viral, I bet." Julian glanced over. Yeah, I figured. And it did. By sunset, the clip had spread through neighborhood group chats. By midnight, it hit TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. Different captions, same story. Woman tries to kick black man out of pool. Doesn't know he's the police chief. This is racial profiling in 2025. She picked the wrong one. The next morning, Julian sat in his living room, coffee in one hand, phone in the other. No music, no news, just silence. He didn't ask for the spotlight. He didn't plan it. But there it was. The doorbell rang. Through the window, he saw her. The woman from the pool. No tennis skirt this time. Just jeans, a sweater, and tired eyes. He opened the door. Chief Carter, she said. I wanted to come by. You sure about that? You've seen the internet today. She nodded. That's why I'm here. She stepped in slowly, stopped just inside. Coffee? No, thank you. She looked around. Framed photos, awards, a painting of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I didn't know you lived here. I told you I did. She winced. Yeah, and I didn't believe you. She pulled out a letter. I wrote something. I don't expect it to fix anything, but here. She set it on the table. I don't expect forgiveness, she added. I just didn't want silence to be the last word. As she turned to leave, Julian said, You thought you were protecting this community. But from what? From me. She didn't answer. After she left, he opened the letter. Handwritten. No printer. Just careful, uncertain words. Honest. Real. She admitted she'd been taught to watch for people who didn't fit, without questioning who defined that fit. She didn't ask for forgiveness. Just understanding. He folded the letter and tucked it in a drawer. That Sunday, Lakeside Grove was quiet. People avoided eye contact, unsure where they stood. Near the clubhouse, the teenager who recorded the video sat with her dad. Chief Carter, she called. You were recording, right? Yeah. I wasn't sure what to do, but my gut said to film. You did the right thing. Her dad offered a handshake. I'm Malcolm. Just wanted to thank you. My daughter learned a lot from you. I hope not just her, Julian said. By Monday, local headlines buzzed. Police chief profiled at neighborhood pool. Mobile residents reflect after viral video. He didn't need the articles. What mattered was the conversations happening behind closed doors. On Tuesday, the clip went national. One caption said it all. She told him to leave. He runs the department. Think pieces, sermons, memes. But the most powerful responses came in his inbox. Hundreds of messages. One stood out. A woman in Tulsa wrote, I watched the video 5 times. I saw my brother in you. My husband. My son. Thank you for reminding us that staying calm isn't weakness. That evening, his sister called. Julian, you didn't tell me you were about to break the internet. He laughed. Wasn't planned. Still got that don't mess with me face since you were 12. Her tone softened. You okay? Yeah. Just tired. You think she learned something? Maybe. She's thinking. That's a start. On Wednesday, he finally spoke. No press. No microphones. Just him. A bench. The same pool. A simple video message. My name is Julian Carter. I'm the chief of police. But before that, I'm a neighbor. A father. A man who wanted to sit by a pool and breathe. He paused. What happened wasn't rare. It was just filmed. I wasn't harassed for doing something wrong. I was harassed because someone assumed I didn't belong. He looked into the camera. When you feel the urge to confront, pause. To accuse, ask. To assume, stop. That pause can mean the difference between dignity and damage. A smile, gentle. Let's do better. Together. The video spread again. Not for outrage, but for truth. And truth, Julian hoped, was where real change would begin.